It's new for me, so I'm still using words. My name is Mary Claire Malloy. I was born in County Cork. At 18 years of age, I sailed for the shores of old New York. With 700 picture brides torn between hope and fear. At last we spied Manhattan and the famous Isle of Tears. My first taste of the new world turned to ashes very fast. The ones who entered freely were from first and second class. We steerage folk remained on board as if we were exiles. The captain turned the ship around and sailed to Ellis Isle. He disembarked and stood in line with chalk marks on our coats. Experimental illness, iffy back on the boat. They asked us what our breeding was, could we read or write? The sound of women weeping set the dormitories at night. My best friend was deported back to a poor Killing home. Another sent to Swinburne Isle died of cholera alone. The rest of us were shipped on trains bound for Midwest states, to wild and stormy prairie lands and our prospective mates. He's American primitive man in an American primitive land. Irish eyes and calloused hands, American primitive man.
To the city of Chicago, as the evening shadows fall, there are people dreaming of the hills of Donegal. Some of them knew fortune and some of them knew fame. More of them knew hardship and died upon the plain. They came across the nation, they rode the railroad cars, they brought their songs and music to ease their lonely hearts. To the city of Chicago, as the evening shadows fall, there are people dreaming of the hills of Donegal. 1847 was the year it all began. Deadly pains of hunger drove 1 million from the land. They journeyed not for glory, their motive wasn't greed. A voyage of survival across the stormy sea. To the city of Chicago, as the evening shadows Sweet Donegal, sweet Donegal, sweet Donegal. Last night as I lay dreaming of pleasant days gone by, my mind being bent on rambling to Ireland's Isle did fly. I stepped on board a vision and I rode it with a will, till at last I found I was anchored at the cross of Spansel Hill. It being the 23rd of June, the day before the fair, when Ireland's sons and daughters were all assembled there, the young, the old, the brave and the bold, their duties to fulfill at the little church in Clooney, a mile from Spansel Hill. Well, I went to see my neighbors, to see what they might say. The old ones were all dead and gone, the young ones turning gray. I met with Taylor quickly, he's as bold as ever still. Sure, he used to make me breeches when I lived at Spansel Hill. I took a flying visit to my first and only love. She's fair as any lily, as gentle as a dove. She threw her arms around me, saying, "Johnny, I love you still." She is Ned, the ranger's daughter, and the pride of Spansel Hill. I dreamt I held and kissed her as in the days of yore. She said, "Johnny, you're only joking, as many's a time before." The cock crew in the morning, he grew both loud and shrill, and I awoke in California, many miles from Spansel Hill.